I got on the radio one time with a very prominent radio personality, and his name is Bob Law from Night Talk. And he asked me so many questions about everything. It's like he thought I had the answers to the universe. And so one of the times he asked me questions about addictions. And so I said, well, if you're on alcohol, this is what you take, this herb. If you're on drugs, you take this herbs. If you're addicted to relationships, you take these plants, these baths. And so he said, you need to write a book. And so I said, okay. Never did in my life, but I just said, it will happen one day. I'm open. Then I came back on the show a few months later, and then I went through the same thing. He said, what do you do for diabetes and high blood pressure? He just asked me a whole bunch of different questions, and I had the answers right on top of my head because I've been working with nature for so many years at that point. So he said, so you're going to be writing your book soon? And I said, yes. Still, I didn't know how to begin. The third time, a few months later, I got on the air, and guess what he said? He said, Queen Afua is writing a book. I almost passed out. And when I went in the street the next day, people said, Queen, so when is your book coming out? All right, I guess I'm actually going to write a book. And the name of the book was, and it still is, Heal Thyself for Health and Longevity. And why was that the name of the book? Because that was my journey. It was really my own journey. I had to heal myself. I couldn't help anyone if I couldn't heal myself. And that has been my message to, well, no matter what is going on in your life, that if you really would love yourself enough and you connect to nature that loves you, that you could heal yourself of insurmountable odds of mental, emotional, physical, and relationship disease. First of all, I tell anybody, if you have a vision, hold on to it, because I wrote that book and I published it myself. And then a company, a small press, picked up the book, and they said, I want 100 copies. Like, whoa, that was like a big deal. You want 100 copies? You don't want 20, you don't want 10, you don't want 5. So I went and got the 100 copies, and then they said, we're going to give you back your 100 copies because you don't have perfect bounding of the book. So they said, you know what we want to do is we want to publish a book. I never even heard the word publishing at that time. So I was going from door to door with the book, from stores and health food stores. Will you take my book? Will you take my book? I think this book is going to help your clients, the ones who are coming for juicing and vitamins and so on. So the publishing house, they picked it up. Once the book launched, it was a phenomenon. It really was the beginning of me traveling out from Brooklyn. I went to Chicago and Detroit from the book, and Atlanta, and I gave workshops and seminars and classes and how-to, and families began to heal from the book. So, it's a heart book, and everyone who sees me, they say, you remember that green book? At the time it was a little green book.
Yeah.
And so I've been raising families through that book. 3 generations have gone through that book. And I remember one story where a young lady, her mother had passed, and she said, my mother passed, but before on her dying bed, she gave her the book, Heal Thyself. And she said to go find this woman, and she'll help you. So she came and she found me, and I hugged her, I embraced her. She became, I guess, one of my spiritual daughters. And she stayed with me for several years, and she learned the lessons, and she began to apply the lifestyle of the book. And I know that was her mother's prayer. So I've had a few of those touching experiences where mothers sent their daughters to me with that book in hand. Mm-hmm.